I'm having a little trouble with my recording. All right, let's go to 330. 330 is just basic using C#.NET the way it comes. So let me put this on another screen so I can refer to it, and I'll demonstrate this Windows 11. This is where you just do normal C#.NET coding using Visual Studio. And as I said, this thing warned me that Visual Studio wouldn't run very well on the ARM, but in fact it seems to run just fine. So I already installed Visual Studio. Visual Studio. Oh, I got 2022. I meant to get 2019. That's why it looks a little bit different. Anyway, it wasn't that different. I wanted a couple menus are just a little bit different. I got the latest version. That's fine. There's a pay version, there's a free version. This is the community version, which is free. It's about 7 gigs, so it takes a while to download and install. Okay, so now you can create a new project. And let me go to my instruction. Oh, then I have to hit, I don't have to hit next, good. Now you can tell it what language you want to write in. And I, of course, want to write in .NET. So I create a new project, and I want a console application. All right. Whenever this thing loads. And let me see if my OBS is still recording. It is. Good. All right. So I think I'm not losing this one. All right. So here we are. We're ready to create a project. How do I get this stupid box to go away? There. Okay. Oh, it's not ready yet. Well, my demo might be fouled up if this is not going to load. It worked at home, but it may be that the streaming is burdening things too much. There we go. Okay, so I want to make a console app. A command line application that can run on .NET on Windows, Linux, or Mac. So apparently there is a .NET runtime for Linux and Mac, although I've never heard of anybody using it. So console and next. And then I can just take the default name, which is console app 2, because I've already done this once. And then I can just create. It will automatically create a Hello World program for me, just to get you started. Which is a very nice thing to do. And you can make every program by modifying that. So it's creating a project. Definitely slower than it was earlier, but let's see if I got any comments. Okay, good. Yeah. All right. There we go. It either finished or crashed. It finished. Good. Okay. So there's some boilerplate lines around this that don't show in the latest version, but here it is, console write line hello world. So you can run it by just hitting this run button up here, and that will compile it and run it. And you'll see output down here. It will show you there are builds started. It now has to build it and then run it and so on. So anyway, I think I'll just go to the pictures because that demo is kind of slow and not that exciting. So you run this thing, it'll just pop up a box and say hello world. And then you can replace the code with some strings here. This is going to read a line. Define a variable that's only 5 characters long, then read a line and then write it out. And the point is to see if you get a buffer overflow. So now you can just type something in here, and even if you put in a long line of A's, it won't crash because it's a high-level language. It does not reserve just 5 letters when you make the string 5 letters long. It grows the storage as needed, so there's no buffer overflow. And you can actually make an buffer overflow. You can deliberately write unsafe code, unsafe buffer overflow. Then you can define a string and actually overflow it. And here we are, define something like in C, you define it to only have room for 10 characters, and then you put in more than 10 characters. So if you try hard, you can make it overflow in .NET, but they don't make it easy. And in order to do that, you have to compile it, and you have to find a special flag to allow unsafe code, because they do try to prevent you from doing this. And then you can actually make it crash. But that's why you will not have any buffer overflows in this kind of language, not unless you go out of your way to create it. And the other one is 331, where you do some more simple things in .NET. This is where you use .NET Reflector. There's an app you can download and run this app, and it'll just ask you for a password and tell you if you get it wrong. So you can run Reflector, and .NET Reflector just does the same thing essentially. In fact, I bet you could just use ILSpy just as well. At this time, I think I didn't know about ILSpy, and Reflector was the program I knew. And so you can go to the button and you can see. It looks to see you have your top secret, then you have win, then you have fail, so you can just see what it's going to do. And you may remember in earlier projects, you actually did this with like IDA Pro, looking at binaries. This is what it's like in .NET, much easier. You're just reading C# source code. So you can view what you're going to do though is hack this program, which is pretty exciting. You've changed the IL code. So you go to IL and see the raw IL code, and here you have like a load string and a branch false. So what you need to do is change the branch false to a branch true. And we want to change branch false to branch true, and you can just go to Wikipedia and find the codes for intermediate language instructions. They're here. So you can find burr false. Well, how about false? There we are, there's burr false. And you can find out what burr false and burr true are just there. And so the point is burr true is 2D and burr false is 2C. So all you have to do is change this one byte from 2C to 2D, and then it will let you win with the wrong password. This is just like what we did in Ollie debug. And so you just have to find a hex editor and find this pattern and find the particular byte to change, and change a 2C to 2D. And save it again, and then you've got a game where you'll win even when you put in the wrong password. So this is the stuff we did in binary code, and you can see how it works and there's some challenges to solve here. So you can see how easy it is to do .NET hacking. So that's what I wanted to show you. I'm going to stop this video.